Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name is Sweat and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over some of my best tips and tricks on how to win more gunfights in Apex Legends. Now, this video is definitely for you if you are struggling to win your gunfights lately or just struggling in general to win more games. Without further ado, let's get into some tips. Now you're probably wondering, what do I mean by playing according to the enemy? And I'm going to break this tip down into 3 different sections. First is identifying what type of fight your opponent is most comfortable with. If they are playing back with snipers, then they might be more of the type that enjoys a passive style fight. Vice versa, if they are pushing up like crazy and trying to get up in your face, then they might enjoy more of an aggressive style fight. Once you have identified whether their playstyle is passive or aggressive, then your next move should be to counter that at all costs, because this will give you the best chance of winning the gunfight. For example, if they are playing passively, then you want to make the fight close range and be aggressive. And if they're playing aggressively, then you want to reposition yourself to where you can knock one from a further distance. Then, once you knock one of them, they will start playing passively, and that's when you should push. Lastly, you want to keep in the back of your mind what weapons they are using. This ties into the first 2 sections and all comes full circle at the end of the day in deciding whether to push or keep your distance on the enemy teams. Okay, now I don't mean literally jumping in their throats, because that would be pretty gross and probably lead to a lot of germs and be very unsanitary, but you guys know what I mean. Waiting for the right time to strike in Apex Legends and timing it correctly is absolutely crucial. And once you get that window of opportunity to push your enemy, then you better take it, because it won't be there for long. This is situational, of course, so let's go over 2 of the most common scenarios. Number 1 is that you have one enemy member knocked and you know that they can't get the revive off before you get there. This is a prime example of when you should be opening the floodgates and pushing from all angles. Also, a little disclaimer here, when pushing, don't be stupid about it and push one by one or in a straight line, because that will get you killed more times than not. I mean, everyone needs to push from different angles at the same time so that the enemies have little to no time to react to what is happening. Number 2 is when you knock or have an enemy member low on health from medium to further distances. This might not be the best time to push, because although you have them low or knocked, there is still enough distance between your team and theirs to where they could get the guy up, fully heal them, or revive them by the time you make it over to them. All in all, to review this tip, just be smart about when you are pushing, but if the opportunity presents itself, then you need to strike quickly. I have another 3-part tip coming at you right here, and it is always making sure that you do everything that you can to ensure that you have the upper hand in a gunfight. Whether that's having the height advantage, cover advantage, or that you need to reposition in order to get one of the 2 of these. Now, I am sure everyone is sick and tired of hearing about how height advantage helps you win gunfights, but just because it's been said so many times doesn't mean it isn't essential. Having height not only gives you a better chance to hit your headshots and critical shots on your opponents, but also gives you a better chance to not get hit by enemy bullets as well. Having cover around is another tip that everyone and their mother has heard, but making sure it is near will guarantee you an extra fallback plan to hide behind in case your first clip doesn't connect with the enemy. And lastly, if you need to reposition once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, I don't care how many times you guys need to reposition yourself in a gunfight, as long as you come out on top by winning it, it doesn't matter what anyone else says or what anyone else thinks about you. I want your aim to go higher. Positioning your crosshairs higher is a tip that a lot of people know about, but few players actually put it into action. You always want to align your crosshairs where you think an enemy's head could be, because that is how you're going to do the most damage and kill them the quickest. I don't care what shooter game you've played in the past, but 99% of them reward you for hitting headshots rather than body shots, and this is no different in Apex Legends. Stop strafing in a straight line at turtle speed, stop standing still while shooting enemies, and stop running in a straight line when trying to avoid enemy bullets. None of these 3 methods that I've just mentioned will help you when you go up against any player that's decently talented in Apex Legends. You need to be unpredictable, and you need to start changing the way that you play right now. Some movements that have really helped me improve my gameplay throughout the past year that I have been playing is crouching while strafing back and forth, sliding in the gaps of time where you aren't strafing and crouching, and even jumping every now and again. The more unpredictable your movements are, then the less shots your opponents will hit on you. Trust me. Oh my god, my hands are sweating. Holy crap, it's a 1v3 scenario right now and I'm shaking. Calm down, everybody. There is no reason to be getting this nervous, and all it is going to end up messing your shots up even more than they already would be. Instead, you need to breathe and actually focus on lining your shots up before you start shooting. What a lot of people will do is, if they're nervous, they will spray at any moving target that's in their sights, when in reality, they should be focusing on targeting the enemy, lining up their shots, and then once in their crosshairs, that is when you should actually be shooting. You will notice a dramatic improvement in your gameplay if you practice doing this. This tip is tough to do a lot of the time because enemies will rush you usually one by one, but in the situation where they actually don't and they all rush you together, then the best way to win the engagement is by spreading the damage out and not totally focusing on downing one enemy. This will prevent the enemies from getting too comfortable when pushing you and will most likely make a statement in their heads that you are not one to be pushed like that and you are going to put up a good fight at the least. Once you get an ounce of doubt into their heads, it will put you in a way better situation to win the gunfight. Keeping track of the damage you do to enemies will not only help yourself gauge when you should push, but will also give your teammates very critical information if you are going to play ranked or even in public matches. Once you have enemies low, make sure to call out to your squad which player has a low amount of health so they can focus on downing that player. Once your squad does indeed down that enemy, then your window of opportunity to push has arose and you should be on your way to a nice easy squad wipe. Last but not least, I want to quickly remind you guys to heal up during gunfights whenever you get the chance. You never know when that extra shield cell or syringe could be the difference between you winning and losing a match. Hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to win more gunfights in Apex Legends. If you guys did, make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new, along with going down in the description and following my Twitch channel to catch me when I am live. Have a great day, guys, and I will catch you in the next video.